Hey everybody, it's Philip Vincent with Mom's House with Mr. Ben Rayo. How are you today, Ben?
I'm well. How about you, Philip?
Doing good. I just want to congratulate everybody that's on this video. What I know about you so far is that you heard something online or maybe a podcast and you took the action to find out more. And step one with anything is taking action when you hear a great idea. So what I'm excited about is that you're an action taker, and I'm excited to share my secret with you about how to find the industry's best leads. So today, Ben and I, we're going to dive into it, man. Let's get into the exactly how they're going to change your life. You ready, Ben?
Well, I'm ready.
Okay.
I love this slide. This has got all kinds of goodies on it.
Yeah. Today, here's what everybody's doing, right? So everybody I talk to, they're in this. They do probates, they do bandit signs, they do postcards, robocalls, Google ads, county records, Facebook, lease purchase, yellow letter, right? All these, and gets down to one lead. So we're all these. We're in the marketing business, right, Ben? We talk about this all the time. If you're in real estate, you're actually in the marketing business.
Yeah, you just see people fighting over these leads, in every market, just because everybody's going after more leads.
Yeah. Let's talk about the one that I like the most out of these is the probate leads. Everybody that does probate, if you're interested in probate, you're going to love the senior living leads that we have. So, okay, the next page, I saw it there, 100 to 1. So let's say you're really good at investing, right? You're better than most. You get 100 leads to your pipeline, you end up doing 10 deals, but then when you're done, you start back at that big goose egg, right? It's your competition is also going after those same 100 leads. It's an endless cycle that has a lot of money spent, so there's risk there because every time, even when you're good at this business, you end up with zero future leads.
And you and I talked about this yesterday. 10% is kind of this, what we hear people say. Some people, depending on the lead type, are at 2 or 3%. If you're making cold calls, phone calls, or
1%. Yeah.
Obviously there's going to be times when you've got a channel that that you're going to do a much higher conversion. So this is just kind of an average.
Yep. Sure. So when you think about the money that you spend, every time it's a new month and it starts over, you're starting back at zero. So you spend more money to create new leads, to convert to deals, but then you hit that reset button on the new lead. So you're not a one-trick pony necessarily, but you're only as good as your last spend on your marketing cycle.
Yeah, I think the thing that people can relate to the most is the last campaign that you did for a Google AdWords or postcard or mailer. What lead did that get you from that customer once you kind of closed that deal from that one letter?
Yep. Well, yeah, exactly. What was the return on investment, right?
And there's just no chance, but except for you just keep pouring more money and more money at it to either grow your business or get more leads.
Yeah. Yep. So what we see happening over time is that there's a finite amount of business in everybody's market, and so the more you turn that dial up, the amount of leads correlates with how much you spend almost always. But then there's a finite point where the production falls off and you just keep spending money, right? And so that's the frustrating part, is that money in, money out doesn't always mean the higher return on investment.
Yeah, I think the tricky part that we're all trying to figure out is where is that point of drop off? Yeah, I think everybody realizes Google Ads is probably the easiest one to relate to. I put money in, I got a number of deals. My acquisition cost was $1,000, it was $2,000, it was $3,000. At some point it gets to be where it's either way too high because it's too competitive, or I'm not getting anybody to click through on it because it's the market's saturated.
Sure. I mean, how many times have we seen somebody tell us that there's been 38 postcards when they go on that lead, right? There's all their competition sitting right there. So how do you stick out in this market?
Yeah, it's not very targeted either. I've been a real estate investor for 10 plus years, have rental properties. And of course I can just see all the tactics because I get stuff in the mail all the time with a postcard or a letter where somebody says they're interested. Or the greatest is you get that phone call that is probably a robo-dialer that says, we're buying properties in your area and we're interested in your property. Of course, no property name, no nothing.
Well, yeah, and I think it's the spray and pray model, right?
Yep.
Everybody's looking for the most right leads or the right opportunity. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. The best lead in the industry. So if you think about it, Ben, and this is a question anybody can ask themselves, why did you get into real estate? For me, it was a lot about the flexibility. I also like variety. I don't know what salary I'd have to pay to sit in a cubicle, right? I have no idea what that would be worth to me. So you got into this business to make money, to control your own schedule, control your own destiny, make your decisions for yourself. Of course, the money comes with real estate. We know there's a lot of money in real estate, and it's usually the free time to spend quality time with your family.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody
it's the stuff that the money buys you. It's not the money. It's,
yeah, it's freedom.
I want a beach house. I want to travel. I want a car. I want to do something with my life. I only want to work 6 months out of the year because the other 6 I want to travel or do something else. So, people get caught up in all the money piece, and it's not about that. It's about what money buys.
I look at money as the freedom bullets is what I call them, right? They're just the thing that gets you to what you want.
Ooh, this is where it gets good.
Yep. So what is the nature of the best lead? You've been a real estate investor probably for at least a while now, and you're asking yourself, well, Phil, what do you got here? What are the nature of the best lead? And really, I'm only looking for a few things. I'm looking for super high motivation. I want them to have an equity position that allows me to buy it at a price that I would pay, which obviously if they have 100% equity, when we know they do that, almost every one of these leads that we have 100% equity. And they need to sell it fast. There's this outside pressing issue that they need to fix, and we're there to help them with their issue. And by the way, Ben, I convert these at over 30% of these leads that come in.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you didn't forget that, because that's really critical when we talk about all the other channels that you're doing leads today and what they're converting at.
Yeah.
Time after time, these leads that we're going to talk to you about are converting at 30%. So if you're at 10% and you get 100 leads, that's 10 deals. Imagine getting 100 leads that convert at 30 and turning that into 30 deals.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Ben. I don't even think that way. Imagine only getting 15 leads next month that convert to 5 deals. That's 60 houses a year, right? I'm 42 years old. I've been in this business 21 years. I don't want to work 100 leads a month. No, forget that mess. I want to talk to 10 people and buy 3 houses, or 15 people and buy 5, right? My time is more valuable than working 100 deals, And by the way, if you're buying 60 houses and only talking to 15 people a month, you're going to be pretty freaking happy, right?
Yeah, I always love this, so I'm going to let you brag just a little bit. Tell people how much time that you're spending marketing to do the 50 deals a year that you're doing.
Oh, marketing now? Very low, not even an hour a day.
So you're spending an hour a day and you're doing 50 deals a year.
Yeah.
Because of the system that we're gonna talk to you guys about.
Because of what we're talking about today.
So here's the big secret.
The secret, it's simple. Ben, what I do is I work with seniors, the adult children, of helping their mother move into senior living. At that exact moment, there is no better time in our lives as real estate investors to help those families. They just found out that mom has to move into senior living. So 3 things happen. Where will mom get the best care? What do we do with the house? What do we do with the stuff? And I help with the house and the stuff. And so if you think about the nature of that lead, there's a cost associated, which is a very huge cost to move mom into senior living. At that moment is when they need to sell. The last thing they want to do is rehab at that moment, right? They need money. The last thing they're thinking about doing is spending money to try to get more money. Plus, who's going to take care of that rehab, right? So we'll get way deep into what all this means.
Yeah, and I don't want to overlook here, because a lot of people that don't have experience to, thinking about seniors that need to move into some kind of a longer term or assisted living care. It's not cheap. It's anywhere from, $4,000 to $10,000 plus, on average. It's $90,000 a year. A lot of these property owners have all the equity in their home. They're as is because they haven't been updated, because mom's spouse probably passed away sometime 8 years ago and she hasn't updated the house at all. You get some amazing, that whole cycle starting to come back around. All the avocado green and the yellows and everything else. It's about to make its 3rd round.
Yeah.
But it's expensive to move into senior care.
Yep. And most people live on a fixed income, right? So that house is their piece that's going to get them into a nice place to live. So obviously the emotional state, if you've been in real estate a long time, you've had those families that you talk to where they're just all over the place. One brother lives in North Carolina, one brother lives in Chicago, the sister lives in Sheboygan with mom is the one who's got all this burden on her, right? There's all this infighting, you want to see, it's not rare for a family to fight, and so you're there kind of a quarterback to help them with their problems in that exact moment. A typical story of this is that they just found out that mom has to move into senior living. and now they rush to figure out how to pay for that care. And so the emotional state, I always call it the most responsible child. There's one of the, and when I say child, I mean this person could be 70 years old themselves, dealing with their 90-year-old mother. There's a lot of pressure and burden on that one person in the family to make everybody happy. And will they make everyone happy? Of course not. But their emotional state is so fractured that I really get deep into, this is not a typical real estate lead. And what I teach people how to do is help those families at that exact right moment to get to their true goal, which is helping mom, turning that house into cash that's needed to pay for the care, and what to do with the stuff.
Yeah, it's a totally different experience than somebody that maybe has a bankruptcy and needs to dump their house just to survive, versus I'm putting the woman that took care of me, my mom, into care. I live 1,000 miles away, and it's just really, really stressful. And everything that mom loves is in the house. It's her memories. It's her entire life.
Yeah.
And so between all the different personalities of the adult children and who should do what and where they should go, and we weren't even thinking about this 6 months ago. It's a crazy time, and it's really critical to have the sensitivity training on how you're dealing with these families and what's going on with them.
Yeah, and the one thing we haven't even brought up yet, she's moving from a 2,000 square foot house that she's lived in for 45 years, and it's got a lower level full of stuff as well, and she's moving to 144 square feet. So how many hats can you bring? It's hard. This whole process can be very hard for the families, and you can be a solution for them.
Oh, this is always a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben. With these numbers, is there enough people? Is this a big enough opportunity for me to care about it? The answer is without question, it is. There's currently 2 million people in home health care. A lot of times those are.
Oh no, that's in senior care communities.
In the senior care, there's 4.7 million in the in-home healthcare, right? So there's 2 million people that already live there. Some have houses, but most they don't. They need to sell that house to move into the senior living. So annually, there's 300,000 people that move into senior living. You talk about how many at bats do you want as a real estate investor? I mean, that's a huge opportunity. The precursor to that 300,000 is the 4.7 million that are in the in-home care. Once they reach their level of care at home that they need more, they go into assisted care. And so, we hear it all the time. The 10,000 people a day turning 65, right? Always ask yourself your question: do you see any senior living communities going up around you? Everyone I talk to says, yeah, everywhere. There's cranes in the sky everywhere around me.
Oh, you're in St. Louis, and in a city that's a couple million people, there's 250 care communities just in St. Louis. Kansas City, where I am, there's over 200, and that doesn't include some of the other things that 5 million people almost that are getting home health care, all those other things. Yeah. I think it's fascinating when you look at how fast 65 and older is growing. Yeah. Our target audience. This isn't going anywhere. There's plenty of pipeline. There's plenty of people coming. It is the fastest growing age group out there. Yeah. There's no question that there's plenty of opportunity here.
Well, Ben, you and I know that this is the next big thing in real estate. We're showing this to the world. We don't call it a wave, the next big wave, because waves crash. And so this opportunity is way too big for that. It's got a 15, 20-year run. So, imagine getting new leads year over year that continually come to you. You build these relationships out with the right people in this industry, and year over year, your phone rings with, hey, Ben, I've got this house I need you to come make an offer on. By the way, that's an appointment. That's not even a lead, really. You need to come make an offer on this house right now. This is really recession-proof because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in a recession, people get old just like they do in a good time, right? When you look at
No, people stop aging.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, good. Well, there's a recession coming, so that should be good for my skin. The average stay is only 2.5 years in senior living. Why does that matter? Well, these giant the cranes going in the sky, building all these communities, those tenants only last about 858 days. Well, what does that mean? It means there's a constant recycling of new people going in there. They have an urgent reason that they need to sell. We keep calling ourselves the anti-iBuyer. And the reason why is that we're kind of insulated from that type of model. There's too much going on with the families where we're providing value to where that's not really a good option for them. What we offer is a much better full course menu for all the other things that are going on with mom.
Yeah, part of what ties into that is just it is the emotional state and what's going on with this family is way beyond just trying to auction off their house and get rid of it with all the stuff and the repairs and the moving parts of timing to get moved into a long-term care community. So there's a lot more to this. I think, if we back up just a quick step, we kind of overlook talking about really what the model is. And the model is building out in your own market, connecting with all the stakeholders that are going to have these seniors moving into their communities or people that are touching these seniors that are moving in. And that's part about
it's at the bottom there. To go along with what you're saying, it's so true. When you build these relationships with the right people, we're having the conversation at the exact right time, the cost of acquisition is actually zero. So all those other models we talked about earlier, we're spending $7,000 to acquire a pay-per-click house, right? And this is zero. So think how much more profitable you are if you're not spending a bunch of money reoccurring to make these leads come across your desk.
Yeah, you talk about cost of acquisition of anywhere from $50 to $5,000 and multiply that times the number of deals that you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're doing 50 a year, that's a few $100,000 for cost of acquisition versus with this model, it is almost nothing.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I hope if you're listening at home to this, I hope you're excited because this is the best leads ever that convert really well and they're free. I mean, what in the world are you looking for, right? Stop making this business so hard. This business is not hard if you have the right leads, man. So every month, right, we start with 0 new leads. Yay. Now we got to spend more money to get the phone to ring, to create new leads, to convert deals. And it goes around and around and around again. And you're only as good as your last deal. How frustrating is that? How much better is it to spend little or no money on marketing, have these referral leads coming in constantly because those people you're talking to have the ear of the person who needs to sell at that exact moment to convert to your deals. You're going to feel so good, not only to help these people, but to have a continual source of leads coming in that's going to feed your family for from now on, as long as people still get old in your community.
Yeah, our marketing system will almost eliminate your cost of acquisition and continue to be a year after year referral opportunity for you to build business. Philip, you recently had a referral. We were in a meeting 2 weeks ago and your phone rang and you said, I got to take this. Who was on the phone? Do you remember who called in that meeting?
I think it was Jay, and he had a lead for me that was in Baldwin. It was a villa lead. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. So this lead, and I don't remember who you were talking to, but this was when you were on the phone. You called, and they not only did they have one property they needed to sell.
Oh, the 3, yeah. So imagine doing a direct mail lead, years ago that got you a 3-pack. It was a deal. It was a referral agent in the industry that I've worked with for many, many years. And they called me with a 93-year-old lady. She had her personal house and the duplex next door. So imagine doing a direct mail piece in 2011 that gets you a 3-pack in 2020. I mean, that's the kind of staying power that these relationships have, right? That when you build it the right way, you're going to continually to get new deals year over year. The old X. Right. I mean, over time, the other models, it's the exact opposite of this. We showed that earlier. And now this is the one that shows you that, hey, your efforts go down, but your deals go up. Right. I mean, how exciting is that? Who's not looking for that? I hope if you're in real estate, this is the chart you're looking for, not the other. Right. So you got to ask yourself a question. It's one of my favorite questions. What's your average profit per deal? And talking to good, these really great investors nationwide, I've heard as low as 10, but I've heard some guys average $85,000 profit, right? So we just picked a low median there of 20. What does an extra 40 deals a year look like for you? What does that allow you to do in your family? What freedoms does that give you?
Yeah, and the power here is it's not this year, it's every year. It's year after year. It's the relationships you develop now continue to create more and more leads. So your cost of acquisition drops to almost nothing.
I can't wait to show the people listening how to do this in their own market, right? It's not, talking to 500 people and having a full-time job of networking. That's not what this is. You know, what would another 40 deals a year do for you? Keep in mind, I don't like to work that hard. If you knew my personality, you know that I'm not working 80 hours a week ever in my life. And so I built this in a very doable manner. So meaning anyone can do this if you apply the steps that we teach. So Ben, we've created this 2-day certification course. We're bringing it to the market. Everyone learns differently. If you're like me, I love a live class. A live class just lets me, I don't know, I learn better in a live class. Of course, some people would like to consume it just via video. So we give the option of every month we're doing these live 2-day boot camps. There's also the online academy where you can get the information twice, right? The more you hear it, the better it will become. We're going to have weekly webinars of continuing education so you can stay in the senior industry. You know, we already know how to buy houses. In this course, we're not teaching you how to buy houses. It's how to find the best lead sources and how to unlock the brains of the stakeholders in this industry. We also have a workbook that's very thorough for you to learn the ins and outs. So coupled with the online academy, the live classes, the workbook, the mentorship, the ongoing mentorship, we're trying to set this up where you can't fail.
Yeah, I like to listen to stuff while I'm working out. That's a great place for me. Or if you're doing a lot of driving, the ability to listen to these sessions and these courses. A lot of people that are coming to our live classes, once they've joined and they paid for the class, they had the ability to go access that stuff so they can listen to it. It's a great way to get kick-started before you come into the class.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, and the future mentorship, you know, you always want to make sure that if you invest in any type of new channels that you're going to be able to do it. And I think we've simplified it so much that just about anyone that's in real estate that has the integrity, you know, what we're going to teach you how to do in this is going to teach you how to build out your market faster. So I've been doing this for a while, but I've had the bumps and bruises along the way. I'd consider myself the expert at senior living. And so I want to teach you exactly how to create referral relationships that are going to come to you year over year over year to be able to find more deals that have all the equity, that have all the motivation. We're going to teach you what to do, but we're going to spend a lot of time on what not to do. If I haven't said it enough, this is a trust business. Trust, 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 trust. If they don't trust you, you're out. And so I want you to position yourself in a way, because all anybody cares about, Ben, is what's in it for them, right? And so when we teach you how to work with these different stakeholders, you're going to show them exactly how you're going to help them to make more money with the clients that they already have, which is what's in it for them, right? The what not to do is big in senior living. You can really isolate yourself by putting your foot in your mouth. Back when I started, I just did it with bravado. I don't want the listeners today to do it that way. I think, you know, you can get up and running really quickly. Turn on this reoccurring lead source and once you get this thing built out, you're going to have this ongoing leads coming to you. It's magic.
Yeah, on the referral relationships that you're going to create, we're going to teach you how to do that. One of the things that on that previous slide, it talked about the mentoring. And part of that is the mentoring that Philip and I will help provide. So you make sure that you know how to have those conversations in the industry. When you run into a problem or you run into a roadblock, that we can be there to help you to get past that. We're giving you all the scripts and tools and icebreakers and workbooks and all the things to work through that. But we're still here after the fact. We want you to be successful. This is about us building out a relationship of real estate investors that are an extension of what we think the Mom's House brand is. And so that we want to make sure that you're successful.
Well, and let's keep going a little bit further too. They're also going to be in these private Facebook groups with all the other really good investors nationwide, right? So it's it's going to be what works in Chicago, does it work in California? Well, I mean, yeah, right. You're going to keep learning, and so that certification that we're talking about, we're setting a new standard for real estate investors. This is not for the bad actors. This is for people that have integrity, that do what they say. When you graduate the course, this 2-day boot camp, you're going to have this certification that you're going to be able to use on your marketing. And what it's going to say is, I'm different than my competition because I've been through this sensitivity training. I've taken the steps needed to understand this market, and I'm here to help. I'm trustworthy, and I'm here to help. If I haven't marked it up, that's the difference. If you're not those things, this is not the right course, right, for you. If you're not trustworthy or have integrity. So these are for the right buyers in every city.
That badge that we've created really means a lot to us. It's really important to us, and it's important for us to protect that and what that brand is.
Yep.
And we will allow you to extend that out to put it on your business cards, your website, on your marketing material. Allow you to go do that so people understand that you've been through a multi-day course, that you've taken it, you've had sensitivity training, you've had industry training, that you're different than another real estate investor that hasn't been through this. You're different than a real estate agent and can provide a totally different value prop as far as coming in and being able to buy that house in less than 30 days and really help those families out.
Yep. Okay. So there's limited seats in each market. So each month we're going this, filling out new markets, getting the investors through the certification class. So one of the big questions is are you going to oversaturate the market? The answer is not at all. We put that back on the person listening to today to say, if you're the right buyer in your market, we don't need anyone else in that market. This is not a quantity for us. It's we're looking for the right buyers in every single city.
Yeah, one caveat to that is just making sure if you're in a gigantic market that, you will not be able to cover that market.
No.
And that's one of the things we want to make sure that we do is that we've got coverage in the space. So, you pick a Philadelphia is huge, 7 million people.
6 million people, right?
One person's not going to be able to cover that. A market like a Philadelphia probably has 4 to 5 people, in that market. In a smaller market like a Nashville, you're probably talking about 2, maybe 3 total in that market. I know in Kansas City, we're 2 to 3 is where we're there.
Well, again, once again, this comes back to that saying that I always have: if I handed 100 guys a blueprint, maybe only a couple would build a house. And so what we want is people that are going to take action and actually do this. We're going to know if you take this serious or not. So if you want less competition, just be awesome at what you do and take what we're teaching you and go use it. And then we don't need more people, right? So I always put this back on the listener. So what we're going to do to help you reach your goal. So if you'd like to have more time to spend with your family or however you like to spend your time, obviously we want to make money. We know there's lots of, so ask yourself a question: is 100% equity and tons of motivation and less competition mean more money in your pocket? Well, I hope so, if you consider yourself a real estate investor. Turn on this ongoing lead source so you can focus on the helping of people and not on always trying to find the new deals. We always, the shiny penny, right? We're always looking for these new ways to find leads. This one thing can feed your family from now on. I have a super high close ratio. I think I'm good at negotiating, but really I just like to fish in a little tiny barrel with a million fish in it, right? They're ready to eat my worm, right? So that I'm going to show you exactly how to find the best leads to where you can get those warm and fuzzies that I do as well. I'm nothing special when it comes to that. I just have the best. I found out where the best leads are. So if you want to do more deals this year, fill out the questionnaire. Get on a call with me. Let's talk. Let's see if you're the right person for your area, and change your life today. Figure out how to work in this industry. It's going to change your life for the better.
Don't take our word for it. Here are some testimonials from our class from last month.
We just wrapped up our day 2 of our certification course for investors finding the best leads. We're here at the REI Black Book headquarters, and we're already filling into next month's class. If you want to come out and find out how to find the best leads in your market, you're going to hear all kinds of great information and testimonials from what we just taught in this 2-day class. Check it out. I can't wait for you to hear it. It's going to blow your mind.
It's not until really in the last couple of days that I've recognized how much I've been missing out. We're going to be able to buy more houses, and my cost per acquisition is going to be a lot lower than it has been in the past. And frankly, it's going to be a lot more fun because we're helping people that absolutely do need to sell their house. And if I can solve problems and make money along the way, it gives me purpose, makes me happy, and I love it.
My biggest takeaway was coming here not really understanding this senior living community space. We can provide a service to these people and these families and the people that work with these families one-on-one.
We learned basically exactly how to be the first one to get those deals. So we learned a lot of practical stuff, and we're pretty excited about going back and implementing.
Kind of a lot of different seminars and trainings, and these last 2 days have been just amazing with Philip and Ben, and it's going to produce so many leads, so much money, and continuous ongoing for years. And it's also a segment of the market that we can help these families that are going through this hard transition.
it's answered a lot of the questions that I know that I'm going to be able to implement in my business.
It kind of demystified this whole kind of atmosphere or market of people looking for solutions that we don't normally think of. I can see how it can be very easy to make mistakes by using the wrong terminology, and coming to this, I feel a lot more confident about how to speak.
Typically, educators teach you all about motivation. This education teaches you the how. It actually gives you the building blocks and the steps to take action the second that you hit the floor when you get back to your office.
Tyler was one of the students that was in our last class, and this just popped up yesterday. Yeah. So we have a private Facebook group where everybody's asking questions and bouncing things off, and Tyler just put this up, and he's already now used some of the strategies, a couple of the icebreakers he's gone through. He connected with some independent people in his own market. And what do you know, that he's already got somebody that's referred him something. It's so rewarding for Philip and I to see this happen. Tyler was in our class 2 weeks ago. And so, this is the kind of traction that you can expect from the class. This is the kinds of things that we can help you do to build your business.
I mean, read that bit. It says he didn't have any idea that this type of program existed, and he has lots of people that need it, and he's ready to refer next week. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying here. I've been keeping this a secret since 2011, and when I see other people doing this now, that you said it right, it hits my heartstrings, right? It's like, boom, I knew this was good, and now I see other people doing it. This is super rewarding.
And so we've got our next class coming up in a few weeks. We do one of those each month. Would love to have a conversation, hear more about your business. We have a pre-call questionnaire. We just ask that you fill out and give us some background on your company, what your goals are, what's going on in your business, and then get connected with Philip or I right away. You'll be able to schedule it right there as you go through that. And hey man, we couldn't be more excited, right?
Yeah, I look forward to talking to you. I mean, let's change some people's lives and make some money together, right?
Thanks for investing your time and watching the video. Remember this piece of fruit. You will need it for the form to get to the questionnaire.